Welcome to Vetted, where we examine the world's most baffling encounters with a critical eye and a dedication to the facts. Tonight, we travel deep into the forests of Arizona for one of the most famous and controversial alien abduction cases ever recorded. Every detail you'll hear tonight is grounded in actual witness accounts, news reports, and the investigations that followed. This is the story of Travis Walton. It's November 5th, 1975. The air is crisp and cold in the mountains outside Snowflake, Arizona. A logging crew is finishing up a long day's work, their chainsaws falling silent as the sun begins to set over the towering pines. There are 7 men in the crew, including 22-year-old Travis Walton. As they drive home along a rough forest road, the men's conversation is interrupted by a strange, glowing light ahead. At first, they think it must be a fire, but as they draw closer, they see a bright metallic disc hovering silently above a clearing, bathing the trees in an eerie blue-green glow. The truck screeches to a halt. Curiosity and fear grip the group. Travis, impulsive and fearless, jumps out of the cab and approaches the craft, drawn by a mixture of awe and disbelief. The other men shout for him to come back, but he keeps moving forward, eyes locked on the impossible sight above him. Suddenly, a beam of intense blue light shoots down from the underside of the craft, striking Travis in the chest. He's lifted off the ground, his body arched in agony, then hurled backwards like a rag doll. The men in the truck are frozen in shock. Panic erupts. Believing Travis is dead or dying, the crew flees the scene, tires spinning as they race down the mountain road. For several minutes, no one speaks. All are gripped by fear and guilt. Eventually, they gather their courage and return to the clearing. But Travis is gone. The craft is gone. Only the silent, empty forest remains. The men drive straight to the nearest town and alert the sheriff. Their story is wild, almost unbelievable, but their terror is unmistakable. The search party is quickly organized. For the next 5 days, law enforcement, volunteers, and even helicopters comb the forest for any sign of Travis Walton. There's no trace, no blood, no clothing, no footprints, nothing to explain his disappearance. As days pass, suspicion falls on the logging crew. Some believe they've murdered Travis and concocted the UFO story as a cover. The men are questioned separately, subjected to polygraph tests, and grilled by police. Their stories remain consistent, their fear genuine. Each one insists Travis was taken by a UFO. Meanwhile, the Walton family is plunged into despair. Reporters swarm the small town of Snowflake, turning the case into a national sensation. Skeptics ridicule the story, while UFO enthusiasts descend on the area, hoping for a glimpse of the unknown. Then, on the night of November 10th, 5 days after he vanished, Travis Walton reappears. Disoriented and exhausted, he calls his brother from a payphone in the nearby town of Heber. He has lost weight, is covered in scrapes and bruises, and seems deeply traumatized. At first, Travis can recall only fragments of what happened. He remembers the beam of light, the pain, the sense of floating. Then he finds himself in a sterile, dimly lit room. Small beings, less than 5 feet tall, with large heads and huge, black almond-shaped eyes, surround him. Their skin is pale and smooth, their movements precise and clinical. He tries to fight back, but his body feels weak and sluggish. The beings communicate without words, their faces expressionless. They run strange instruments over his body, touching his chest, arms, and head. The environment is cold, metallic, and utterly alien. Suddenly, the beings leave. Travis is alone, panic rising. Then a tall, human-like figure enters the room. This being looks almost human. Blonde hair, blue eyes, wearing a tight-fitting blue uniform. But its face is emotionless, its eyes strangely blank. Without speaking, the humanoid guides Travis down a curving hallway into another room. In this new chamber, Travis sees more human-like beings. They place a clear mask over his face. He loses consciousness. The next thing he knows, he's lying on a deserted stretch of highway outside Heber, Arizona. The craft is gone. The night is silent. Back home, Travis is overwhelmed by the media frenzy. He's subjected to medical exams, psychological tests, and countless interviews. Under hypnosis, he recalls more details of the experience. The examination, the strange beings, the feeling of being watched and studied. Skeptics question every aspect of the story. They point to inconsistencies in Travis's account, the possibility of a hoax or mass hallucination among the crew. But the men's polygraph tests are largely past, and their stories remain unchanged for decades. The case becomes a sensation. In 1978, Travis publishes a book about his experience, The Walton Experience. In 1993, his story is adapted into the film Fire in the Sky, bringing the events to a new generation and cementing the case as one of the most famous abduction stories in history. Despite the fame, Travis never seeks the spotlight. He lives quietly, working as a lumberjack and occasionally speaking at UFO conferences. His story never changes, and neither does the testimony of the men who witnessed his disappearance. Over the years, investigators revisit the case. Some point to minor discrepancies or the pressures of the polygraph tests. Others note the lack of physical evidence. But no one ever proves a hoax, and the core facts remain. 7 men saw something impossible in the woods. One of them vanished for 5 days, and the mystery has never been solved. For the town of Snowflake, the case is both a source of pride and controversy. Some residents still believe, others remain skeptical. But for Travis and his crew, the events of that November night are as real now as they were then. The Travis Walton abduction stands as a challenge to our understanding of reality. It is a story of fear, wonder, and the unknown. A story that continues to inspire debate, investigation, and fascination nearly 50 years later. As you reflect on this story, ask yourself, what would you do if you saw something impossible in the woods? Would you run or would you step forward? Would you trust your memories or doubt what you had seen? Thank you for joining us tonight on Veted. If you found this story compelling, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe the Travis Walton abduction? Was it a case of mass hysteria, a misunderstood event, or a genuine encounter with beings from another world? Until next time, keep questioning, keep searching, and remember, the truth is out there, waiting to be vetted.